video. What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and we are down here, girl. Time for another video. We don't have nothing to talk about, girl. I was just down here trying to see what was going on down to the blogs.
I sponsor the blog. Let me tell you something,
honey. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know you stopped by. Do not forget to like the video. Like the video. Like the video, please. Por favor. Gracias. So we don't have anything to talk about, girl. I don't know what is going on down to the blog. So let's go see what we can talk about. And then I have to get out. Hopefully by the time you see this, you will have watched the Married to Medicine review and also the Beverly Hills review. You know, Beverly Hills is back. If you didn't know, go watch it and then come back and watch my review. And then also Salt Lake City review is up for the last episode. That's hella late, but it's still up. So go ahead and watch those. Thank you for supporting the channel. Shout out to everybody who has me in their top 5 of their most watched YouTube channel. Shout out to you. High five to you, girl, boy, and girls, and theys. So, yeah, so let's go see. I'm going to go to Hollywood Unlocked first, and then we're going to see what is going on. Okay. JaRule on his beef with 50. This ain't about Diddy. He's already in jail serving time as he should be. This is about this sucker Curtis. Let me be clear. This ain't about Diddy. He's already in jail serving time as he should be. This is about this sucker Curtis acting like he's hip hop moral savior, going on TV with them tight ass nasty suits and that big ass jug head when you're no different, allegedly. I wonder when it went wrong. They look so happy together. Maybe he assaulted him. You ever thought about that? How many people, how many women have said they were around him and they don't know, they can't be sure, they can't say definitively that something didn't happen to them while they were with him. Look at Aubrey's story. Aubrey has no recollection of that happening at all. So you never know. What if something happened to him the same that happened to little Rod? Maybe he woke up the next day in the bed with Puffy and his body was hurting and he just didn't go back. And now he's, has a vendetta against him. Also, the fact that, later on he goes after Daphne Joy, who has a child with 50 Cent. So it's back to what Puffy likes to do, is go after the girl that's with the man that he wants to fuck. That's what it's always been to me. Like when Capricorn said that they will skin you and then wear your skin and act like they never wanted to wear your skin. That's this thing where these men have these odd fantasies of being desired by men the way that the women that get the attention from men, I want to have the attention that Daphne has, that Kim has, that what's the other one's name? What's the other one? It's Daphne. What's the other one? Gina. I want the way that men look at those women, I want men to look at me the same way. So the best thing I can do without completely exposing my homosexuality, my homoerotic desires for these men, I'll just get in relationship with their bitches and turn them out and use them as sex slaves. Cassie, you know how many people say they've seen Cassie and she's like really one of the most beautiful people they've ever seen? Like you're like mesmerized by her. And what does he do? no one, I don't even think Beyonce has 10 albums out. Hey Siri, how many albums does Beyonce have?
Here are some results I found. Texas Hold'em, Halo, 16 Carriages, Telephone,
No,
Two Most
no,
Wanted,
no, no,
and
no,
For the
no,
Weekend.
no, 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 no. We're just gonna go to Beyonce discography. I don't even think Beyonce has 10 albums out. Beyonce don't even have 10 albums. Adele don't even have 10 albums. Hell, I don't even think Whitney Houston had 10 albums. I don't even think if Whitney Houston was still alive, would she have 10 albums? But you signed Cassie to a 10 album record deal? And Cassie, with all due respect, is not a singer. That was somebody you were going to have to auto tune the shit out of her music and get her up there and dance. But no, you used her as a sex slave, and because we live in this warped system, it was seen as she was his girlfriend, and she was made to believe that she was in a relationship with this person, not even realize, girl, he's just using you, and you're chasing the love bombing stage for the rest of the relationship. That's another part of the drug addiction, where you're now releasing all of these hormones where it comes to this man and him giving you the life that you want and exposing you to this life and taking you places, but then also abusing you, but then you trying to get back to the beginning, how he was like in the beginning when he was grooming you, and then love bombing you, and then now you think you're in a relationship, and then for these people not to see the complexities of all of those things, being abused and then being love bombed, and then this cycle of abuse. And because I don't know, I guess they wanted him to not get a lot of time, because they should have explained the complexities of abuse. They should have explained. I know by listening to what I know, we didn't hear half of the damn testimony, but the fact that I'm able to look on and understand that this woman was a sex slave, and for other people to be like, she was in it, she need to take accountability, she need to take accountability. What? Part of that accountability was running down that hall and trying to get away, but then realizing, hey, I can't get away. This man, he had her access to her medical records. What kind of shit is that? Is that normal? Do y'all let your boyfriends have access to your medical records? Is that just a normal thing y'all do? Boyfriends have access to your medical records, can tell a surgeon to give her a breast augmentation, and then with still being swollen, still haven't healed, him say, I don't like that, and then send you back the next day or two to go get it done again. So meaning put her under again and operate on her body again. That's a normal boyfriend shit. Maybe something happened to him. You never know. You just never know. The comments, Ja, let the hurt go. You'll be happier. Whether 50 is doing it out of spite or not, why is that the focal point of the conversation? Did he need it to be exposed one way or another? And whatever the reason was, Curtis exposed him, didn't take away from what Sean did. It's like really weird how it's like, let's focus on why you exposed this man. No, no, no. Let's focus on what this man has been doing to people over a 30-year time span. And then you have to watch the men and the women who are saying free him, who are making this, a woe is me black man as the victim of circumstance, as this is not an innocent person. And when I say innocent, I'm not talking about under the code of law. I'm talking about morally, he's just all wrong. And y'all only align your morals within the code of law, even though there were laws that would have said it was okay to hang you from a tree, to say it was okay to do multiple things to you. But a lot of people only, their morals only are in alignment with what they're able to do within the law. They don't care. That's why when they say, well, he's found not guilty. No, he's still guilty. It's just he didn't happen, whatever the code of law is, he didn't break that code of law. He still did that shit. It doesn't erase what he did. And when somebody's exposing something, I'm with this person. We know who 50 Cent is. We've been know. A lot of people don't even know the beginnings of his, the way he was introduced into the industry. He's been that way with everybody, holding a grudge, going after people, trying to embarrass people, trying to, we know what it is. But if whatever the reason, if it's about Daphne, if it's about maybe something happened to him, if he really feels this is a way that he can repay his debt to what he has done to people, right? When people keep saying, oh, it's karma, it's karma, it's karma, maybe he sees this as an opportunity to clear up some of his karma. Let me take somebody down who I know is part of this whole little syndicate that they got going on. Nobody thinks about that. They're like, well, why did you do that? MarlonWayans, somebody else that's down there, you just trying to take a man down. This is not a man who has not done harm to people. And the crazy part is you are probably 0 degrees away from somebody he has harmed. Marlon, you are probably 0 degrees away from somebody he has harmed. JaRule. And to see how Irv Gotti did, ooh, what was that about? You see how Irv Gotti did Ashanti, so you understand how abuse and exploitation within this industry works. You've seen somebody do it to your so-called homegirl. But y'all are like, oh, he's trying to bring somebody down that is harmful to people. He's not trying to bring down the damn the guy who does the reading the books, LeVar Burton. You know what I'm saying? He's not down there trying to bring down fucking somebody off of the damn Sesame Street. You know, he's not trying to bring down Mr. Rogers. He's trying to bring down Jason. He's trying to bring down Freddy Krueger. He's trying to bring down fucking Michael Myers. Y'all want all these motherfucking monsters to roam free. It is so that is just the weirdest thing to me. And then all because you want this monster to roam free, all because he's black. That is the reason why the serial killers, that black man Sam Little, that's the reason why he was able to get away for so long. He was killing black women and nobody gave a damn. Nobody gave a fuck. Let this motherfucker roam free. Let him kill all these black women. Nobody cares. Y'all want these monsters to roam free. And it's like people coming to the front trying to make statements and trying to make sense of saying, hey, lift the gate up and let this monster out. Y'all just trying to bring him down. Y'all just trying to bring this monster down. This woman talking about, oh, y'all hate black men. No, we hate violent, harmful. You should too. Don't you hate violent, harmful men? Because that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about innocent people. We're talking about people who harm people. What how does that not come together for a lot of the people? It's really sad. And it's literally a way to defend these violent men by acting like, oh, Puffy, he had to deal with this, his childhood and this and that. No, he just continuously, and it's weird because he continuously did it, and all of these people are saying he like really has the worst Yelp reviews, and you're like, no, y'all are just trying to bring him down. It's very weird. Y'all want to minimize the violence that these people cause. You want to blame the victims. And a lot of it's crazy because when the black woman is the victim of these things, nobody pays attention. And it's like, then you're still in the comments trying to advocate for these violent men to be free. And it's very weird, all because they're black. That's how they're able to run amok and nobody says anything, because you're still trying to have some kind of race loyalty to people who are harmful to your community as black people, to your community as women. Y'all have to stop sacrificing yourselves for this idea of race and saying, hey, just let this guy out, endure the abuse, protect these men. No. And I'm not going to put the collective before my personal safety. And that's not happening. How are you, protect black men at all costs, but not when it comes to you though. When it like you're at risk when you say that, because they can harm you and then they'll still be protected. No. Mm-mm. I don't. I'm not with that shit. Send Puffy to jail. Let him go. Let him be in there. He's not redeemable. That's the thing, that I think people think that he's redeemable. Just call on Jesus, I guess. Girl, please. So JaRule, MarlonWayans, Puffy, 50 Cent. I don't care what he's doing, why he's doing it. The fact is he's taking somebody down. Maybe somebody will get enough nerve to take him down. Marlon, listen to what Marlon said. Oh, he posted 12 years a slave. And then Marlon posted a picture of him from White Girls and said, keep my name out your mouth, boy. So listen.
Yo, look, Puff is nah. You working with Pop for 30 years. You saw Big before he passed? Yeah. Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying?
In the documentary, there was insinuations of, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And,
who's telling the story, right? You can skew
people very close to the situation.
But you can create any narrative as a producer and as a director and as a storyteller. I can create a narrative. I could be like, you know what?
You have.
I could create a narrative.
Well, we see it all the time in reality shows.
Reality shows. Yeah, you're creating a narrative. It doesn't mean it's true. I can get interviews. I can do this. I can get footage, and I could make you think this about that person.
Nah, for sure, yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So for me, I think, look, 50 and Puff have a long-term beef. It's personal. It's between.
People are saying 50.
We ain't baby all close.
Not wrong for doing it, but 50's right for doing it. It's divided.
It's between him and Puff. And before it's between him and Puff, it's between both of them and God. Just the way Puff is down on his luck and 50's kicking a man when he's down.
God is gonna.
If 50 ever luck turning up on 50, that you got to be careful what you put out. There's a karma to every action that you do.
Wrong for doing it, but 50's right for doing it.
There's a karma for every action. And exactly. And what is the karma for taking a harmful, violent man down? So y'all act like he's going to have, if anything, it's good karma. If anything, what 50 is doing is good karma. So if in his mind, see, so many people see karma as a punishment system. That's your karma. That's what you get. But now he's taking somebody bad down and you're like, yeah, that's his karma. He's going to have to answer for what he does. Actually, that's good karma. That would be his good karma. And if anything good karma is going to do is help erase any bad karma that you have. So you have some good karma. You're doing good karma. You're doing something good for humanity by doing whatever you need to do to take somebody harmful down. That's good karma. While you're trying to use it as a negative, don't forget there is a positive. There's good karma. There's not only bad karma. Marlon defending Diddy is more concerning than anything else, Marlon is a roaster, so he can go all day. However, 50 has receipts on people, and he's going to take it to hell. May the odds be in one of their favor. Damn, I love Marlon, but now I got to look at him sideways for defending Diddy. Man, 50 built for this, Marlon. I suggest you stand down. 50, because Marlon is defending Diddy trash. I think Marlon should just mind his business and leave that man 50 alone. It's obvious Marlon did not watch the documentary. Exactly. Talking about, well, who's telling it? And then it was somebody else that had an opinion about the documentary and hadn't watched it. And these are men who get up on grand stages and speak with so much, you know, arrogance, and like they know what's going on. And then you realize you haven't read a book. You haven't watched a documentary on the subject. You haven't done nothing. You just feel that you being a man and you just saying this, somebody's going to believe you. How are you talking about, well, who's telling the story? So did you watch it? You didn't watch it? No. So never mind, forget it. We don't even have to talk about it. Because how are you having an opinion on something you didn't watch? And then you're defending the person. I'm like, well, who I can make you think the narrative. I can make the narrative. Okay. Beefing with a comedian never ends well. That's what the people are saying. They should leave each other alone. But I don't know why Marlon would say that 50 is 12 years a slave. It doesn't even make sense. And it's all for what? Like what? When you're going back and forth with him, what exactly are you defending? Are you defending a man who you know yourself has harmed people that you know, people that are around you, people that are close to you? He has, even if it's when we say harm, even if it's like financial harm, what he did to all his artists, it's not just this physical and psychological and narcissistic abuse, it's financial abuse. Not paying people. A perfect example is just recently they were able to make some of this documentary with footage from a videographer who he didn't pay. He don't want to pay nobody. He wants to do whatever he wants to do. Y'all just say, oh, you need to call on Jesus and all this other shit. And girl, that don't have nothing to do with nothing. That man is in it. He's all the way in it. And that's his mission. And you guys want to let this monster loose. Oh my God. Did the battery die? I don't know. Is it still going? I don't know. I don't even know. Oh my God. Okay, let's see. Okay, so MarlonWayans, what? Oh, hold on. Okay, so what were we talking about? MarlonWayans, JaRule, all of them about 50 Cent, because all of them. That's the reason why they're like, if he has done the things that he's done to people, and he's coming out telling on, or like compiling information from people to basically tell on this guy, and he has all the stuff, it's no telling what he will do to somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people are just like maybe shocked, because it is it's a betrayal to the quote brotherhood, right? To the silence, to the it's to all of that. It's to all of that. It's to all of that. He's going against, he's betraying. So the men, you have to watch the men that are coming to the front saying that he's basically trying to take a man down. They inject black in there to get like support from these race loyal women who get really caught up into the vortex of blackness, and will like erase every idea that they have about this man. And they're just focused on him being black and all the injustices that black men have endured, completely forgetting about themselves. Just because black men have endured issues in society, you as a black woman in a patriarchy have endured twice of the amount of issues that they've dealt with, twice the amount, because you are a woman and you are black. But all they got to do is yell black, and there you go running. And they will always stay true to the patriarchy, to the father, to the man, to the man. And so when one man who is just as raggedy as they are comes to the front and says, "We taking one of them. We taking. I'm helping taking one of y'all down. I don't care what I've done. It's his turn. He got to go down." So for whatever reason he's doing it for, he's taking somebody down. And if you think that karma is a punishment system, then you also have to think it's a reward system. And what he's doing should be applauded. Yes, I'm so glad he's doing this. And yes, somebody's going to come out one day and say some shit about you. Hopefully it's not no assaulting, but you are already known for beating on women, knocking women down, kicking women in the stomach, dragging women downstairs. All of y'all have done it. That's why everybody is shocked that this man is going against the brotherhood. That's the big issue. That's more of the issue. So you got to be mindful. And just like MarlonWayans can have a trans child and everybody can jump for joy because he's on, taking pictures with wrapped around in rainbow flags and all this other stuff. On the other end, he is upset because a man is taking down another man who has abused women, men, and children as well. So whether you are applauding Marlon for being an ally to trans people, he's definitely not an ally to women. Definitely not an ally to women, because there's no way you would sit on any platform and fix your mouth to say something is wrong with what 50 Cent is doing. That's how I feel about it. All right, Kimora Lee Simmons speaks out on daughter's brief romance with 65-year-old Vittorio Asaf. She says, "I think it's predatorial." Embarrassed, Kimora Lee Simmons breaks silence on Aoki's alleged fling with Vittorio Assad. Feels like daughter was a little set up. It says Kimora Lee Simmons is finally speaking on her daughter Aoki Simmons' headline-making relationship with Serafina Restaurant Group founder Vittorio Asaf, who was 65 at the time. The pair made headlines back in 2024 after being spotted together in St. Bart's. Ooh. But Kimora said she found out about it the same time everyone else did. In a preview of her upcoming appearance on Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast, the mogul sat down with host Amanda Hirsch to address the situation head on. And she didn't hold back. "I let my kids make their own mistakes. Like I said, that's a whole thing we were saying about living out your life in public. I think it's very, very, very tough," she explained. "I don't even know, first of all, I know this guy, but I didn't know this guy in the capacity like with my kid or that you're even dating my kid." The Baby Fat founder shared that she already knew Vittorio Asaf from her own time in New York fashion and social scene, but never expected to see her daughter linked to him romantically. "They're trying to silence me." Would y'all be like, "Oh my gosh, she's lost her fucking mind. They're trying to silence me, y'all." Girl, please. My nose is running. I know y'all can hear it. Sorry. All right, let's see what else is happening. We're done talking about Marlon and 50 Cent and Kimora. Well, what happened to Kimora was wrong as well. Her, this is her daughter, knew exactly what she was doing. She obviously doesn't want her daughter to follow in her footsteps. So y'all bringing up Russell actually just proves her point. Her daughter was also being predatory towards that man's wallet. People need to stop acting as if girls are victims, especially this one. She wasn't a victim. She made a conscious choice because she wanted attention and stuff. Meanwhile, there are real victims of predators out there that have no voice and are invisible, and no one is coming to help them, unfortunately. And when those same real victims that come to the forefront and tell you their experience, you're going to not believe them, deny their experience, and said they knew exactly what they were doing. It doesn't matter if the person, and these women need to be predatory for these men's wallets, if that's the case. Just like Ebony K. Williams said, I know y'all, she has the people in an uproar yet again. They hate it when a woman can express that they made a decision to be a solo parent and raise their child without a man around, even though a lot of men are not around their children. There are men in the comments wanting to fight. When I tell you, they are windmilling in the comments, trying to get women to lower their standards to be in relationship with someone who's not going to put in the same amount of effort into raising the children that they're going to put in. So I might as well do it on my own. How many married single mothers do we talk to or heard about or hear about all the time? Let's see. I gotta put it on. And you want the women to lower their standards because we know that in a patriarchy, that's why the men are they're it's these are rules that you created. You created the woman's commodity to be her beauty. You created the man's commodity to be his money. And then when you realize, oh, okay, if the man's commodity is his money, that actually cuts off a lot of men from having access to women. So we need to shame women for going after men with money and call them gold diggers. And hopefully they'll be discouraged into going after men with money. And that way I will be able to have access to these women. Now we need the women to think that it's all about getting in relationships for love. Now we have to make it seem like the man is the prize. So that is a way that we can get women to marry us for love, not have money. We have effectively helped them lower their standards. And so when they lower their standards, we can have access to these women. Otherwise, they're just going to go towards the men with money. We can't let them want money. We have to get them to put value in something that is fleeting, that can stop existing at any time. The money is too real. So get them to bank on and to see currency in love instead of looking at the man's wealth and his financial stability as true currency. Now, if we can get them to stop seeing wealth as true currency and this idea of love and the illusion of forever as currency, we can have access to more women. So then when now they see a woman like Ebony K. Williams say, you know what, actually, I don't need a man to help me raise a child. I can raise a child and provide them with all of the resources to be well rounded. And the men in the comments are losing their minds. They're losing their minds. But the truth of the matter is, y'all want to shame single women, but when they see that they can no longer shame you, and this is something that you're doing, quote, willingly. What do you mean you're choosing single motherhood? A lot of women choose single motherhood when they realize that the man that's in their lives, they would do better if the man was not in their lives. So that is a choice, right? The choice is to be accountable for choosing the wrong type of person to parent children with, and then being responsible for exiting out of that relationship and choosing to raise your children in a home where everybody's nervous system is regulated, nobody is walking around on eggshells, everybody feels safe in their home as they should. There's nobody in here creating, this trying to have their mood dictate the atmosphere of the home. No, nobody has time for that. And when people see that they don't have time for that, they feel like, okay, where's my position? How, as a human being operating on survival mode, how am I going to be able to pass on these wonderful genes of mine? if the women are not choosing us anymore, or not seeing the value in us or anymore, or going to a sperm bank to go and, produce a child. She needed a man to do it. No shit. Just like I told this man yesterday. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. When I'm telling you, Ebony K. Williams are like really frustrating. I said Ebony is smart. She doesn't have to deal with anyone. That's her baby. Somebody comes to me and says, "You're damaged goods," from the look of it. I mean, people are really crashing out. This man says, broads like her and simps like you are why the community ain't shit and the world laughs at us. I said, if the world is laughing at any persons in the Black community, it's Black men. They're not laughing at Black women. They're laughing at you niggas. I said, the only way, some man said, well, Black mothers are abusing their children is statistics. Or what did she say? Statistics show that mothers are abusive to their children. I said the only reason why that statistic might be true is because more women have custody and are taking care of children. So the statistic is going to be there are women who abuse their children because more women have custody of their children than men. So of course the statistic is going to lean over to the women's side because of that reason. Selfish because single mom homes don't do well. I said no one needs a man to be in a home. Over 18 million homes in the United States are homes without a father. Y'all aren't needed past your sperm, and most of you are deserving of offspring. This is what this person said. Somebody says, kids absolutely need dads. I said, not just dads, but good, attuned dads. If you look at history, children actually develop better when there's no toxic, miserable, misogynistic, patriarchal man in their home. So be mindful. You don't just need dads, but you need good, healthy fathers, and most of them aren't the best. Read the research. Look at the families within your family and tell me how kids are turning out with no weird ass man around them. Be careful what you ask for. Look at the comments of the men in this thread. You think they'll make a good dad to raise your child? Yes, I know you wouldn't. She's only can get pregnant by a man. I said, who said you can get pregnant without a man? Clearly she needs sperm, but she doesn't need a man present. She just needs sperm, the same way your mother only needed your father's sperm. He didn't raise you, did he? I'm sure you know plenty of men in your friend group who were raised solely by their mothers. Do you talk to them crazy and tell them their mothers ruined them? Or are you surrounded by men who were raised by single mothers that turned out to be upstanding men? You don't need a man around, especially not a man who thinks like you and others in this thread. People with these mindsets like yours are undeserving of offspring. You are unsafe around women and children, and you prove it in the way that you show up in these comments. I said, I hope no one ever has a child with you. And if they do, I hope they never give a child your last name. You do not deserve to pass on your mindset to another generation simply because your testicles produce sperm. I don't care. Y'all are really, TD Jakes keeps telling y'all women have to create a need. If somebody has to create a need, that means that there is really no need and something has to be created in order for you to feel needed. Like, you know how they do in jobs for some people, they create a position for somebody that they don't necessarily want to let go because they don't want to let go of that skill set. So if they don't have a job for them in another department, they'll create a job for them to do. They really don't have a need for you, but they want you around because there are some skills that you're able to do. A lot of y'all don't have skills. You weaponize incompetence. You act like you don't know how to do nothing. If you lived on your own, you would hopefully do everything for yourself. But when you live with this woman, all of a sudden she has to become your goddamn maid. Like you have like you have a motherfucking housekeeper. And you wouldn't dare actually hire a housekeeper because you want her to do everything. She doesn't deserve to relax and enjoy the fruits of her labor. She always has to be laboring. History and statistics show women are more abusive to children than men are. Single men raise kids far better than single women. That's the only reason why that statistic might be true, is because more women have custody of their children. And not every mother is a good mother. So, somebody said they put you in movies as over masculine women who can't keep a man or raise civil children. And y'all sit on the sidelines as the most overweight demographic that hates their natural hair. You need to go to rehab and leave the drugs alone. And I said, still using old stereotypical tropes. I hope you realize that those don't work anymore. You need to update your operating system and get better, because insults you're trying to use don't affect me in any way. I said, women are accountable for men who are out there and who they choose. That is the reason why they're choosing single motherhood. You're telling women have to hold themselves accountable. Right. If I'm trying to pick a man to have a baby with and none of these niggas are working out, I'm accounting that I'm not picking the right man. So guess what I'm going to do? Instead of trying to pick the right man, I'm going to go find somebody who is good on paper and just get the sperm so I don't have to deal with the man. Because these men, I can't do it. I can't pick a chew. My picker is off. You know how y'all like to tell people their picker is off. How the fuck are you going to have a good picker when it's like literally playing the lottery? It's, you act like the odds are in your favor, sweetie. They're not in your favor. It's literally like playing the lottery. How many times are you going to scratch off a fucking ticket and realize you are not going to win at this? And when you do, and these broads tell you, oh, it's somebody out there for you, girl. No, it's not. It is literally the luck of the draw. And a lot of women think they're lucky, and then a few years later realize, oh, this ain't, the luck has run out. The luck has run out. So how are women being accountable for it? If I can't pick a good man to have a baby with, I really want to have a child, I can't be waiting around because I'm getting older and I want to be able to do whatever. So I'm just going to go to a sperm bank, because at the end of the day, it would be just that anyway. So instead of having to deal with somebody, custody and child support and all this other bullshit, I don't have to deal with anything. I don't even want your money because I can do all of this. I don't need you. Your sperm, yes, but I don't want to deal with somebody directly. So I'm going to go to a sperm bank. And that's what I'm going to do. And people hate that she is cutting out the middleman, because they want her to be able to have to deal with somebody, have to go to court with somebody, have somebody to go back and forth with and trying to argue with, and all the stuff that Candy is going through. Candy had eggs ready to go. She could have went out and gone to a sperm bank and would not have been dealing with none of this shit. None of it. None of it. Men are needed. Please stop this BS narrative. I said, needed for what? Look around at the state of the world, ran and powered by men. Men need to be of service, not you being of service to them. Burn your cape. This is a patriarchy. They don't need your advocacy. Also, because it makes men scramble when they see that women are taking out the middleman, because it also removes that privilege of being able to live another generation, right, with somebody with their last name. It removes them from that. That baby has Ebony. That baby's last name is Williams. That's Ebony's baby. It would be her baby regardless. It's always her baby. She'll still have to answer to her child when they're older. How many? I use a sperm donor. I use a sperm donor. That's not a big secret. People are not like, oh, I'm going to hide this from my child. That's not a big secret. She's going to have to answer to her child, duh. She's going to have to tell her child, yes, I had a sperm donor. You don't have a physical father. And y'all like to ingest that a father is needed for a child, and then you're like, oh my god, my baby misses their father. Girl, a lot of people, they don't know who their daddy is. The daddy is walking around here saying they don't know who their daddy is. They don't miss their daddy unless somebody starts injecting this idea of you missing something. That's just how you can't miss something that you never had. I don't know what it's like to live on a olive farm and collect olives during olive season. I don't miss it. So there's no way that I can miss, the idea of being able to pick olives out of the tree and collect them to make olive oil. I have no idea about that. I've never experienced that. I don't know what it's like. I don't miss it. And nothing is missing out of my life because I don't know how to collect olives from an olive tree. My father played golf. I don't play golf, never played golf. Because he didn't teach me how to play golf, I don't feel like there's something missing out of my life. I never did. I've never done it, never missed it, never done it, never missed it. So I have no idea what it's like to miss something that I've never participated in. It's not until y'all start injecting into somebody, oh, you needed this and you need that. And the truth is, so many women, millions of women, have raised children with just themselves or their tribe. There are plenty of men who have been raised by a family of only women and turn out great. You don't sit amongst your friends, men don't sit amongst their friends and tell them how their mothers fucked them all up. Because I guarantee you, in your group, in your male friend group, half of those men have been raised by just a woman by herself, and maybe their siblings, but just the only adult in the household. So do you run around and tell your boys your mama fucked you up, your mama fucked you up, your mama fucked you up? Because how does Cam Newton show up in a group, in his friend group? How does Nick Cannon show up in his friend group? How does Ray J show up in his friend group? These two parent homes with their fathers in the home. How'd they turn out? Or how did Barack Obama turn out? How did motherfucking Michael B. Jordan turn out? How did these men turn out that were just raised by one person? Are you going around telling them their single mothers fucked them up? No, you're not, because they didn't get fucked up by their single mothers. A lot of these kids are fucked up because their fathers was in the home. And that's what people don't want to talk about it, because you're supposed to maintain the patriarchy by saying a man is needed somewhere where historically he shouldn't be in the home any fucking way. Go out there and hunt and gather. Ain't that what the fuck y'all supposed to do? And providers, go out there. What the fuck do you want to be in somebody's house anyways, fucking up the mood? Girl, go out and do something with your life, okay? I'm convinced everyone is asleep, nice and comfy, as long as women suffer the same. Y'all would have been just fine if they got married, had kids, and it didn't work out, and he wants half her money. Y'all would have been fine if she wants to become someone's baby mama. But God forbid she decides to protect her legacy, her bag, her mental, and decides a different route that works for her. She is absolutely the worst woman on earth. So what? She doesn't have a lot of time. What mom does? Or she should be exhausted like other moms for y'all to be okay. I'm glad women are choosing other options that work for them. No, it's not traditional. And that's the point. We don't have time to do that shit. I said, y'all hate seeing women thriving as single mothers. Y'all want to believe that single mothers are broke down and struggling because there's not a man there. And we're not. Ebony's presence and voice dismantles your illusion that you need a man around a child for it to thrive. Women are proving it every day, every single day. Ebony made a choice. Y'all love to act like women don't want to be single and raising children, and they're choosing single motherhood. Yes, they are choosing to raise their children without a man there. Everyone will be okay. Y'all love to hold on to the fantasy. And she said, y'all hate men. And I said, hate violent, harmful, abusive men, don't you? She says she doesn't know any. Do you? No, I don't. And that's because I am very selective with the men that I'm around. Somebody said that the other day. The more selective you are, whether it's a romantic interest in a man or friendships in a man, the men that because my standards are so high, it even are so high for even male friends. Do you understand what I'm saying? So though, because my standards are high, even my male friends are quality men. But even those men, I have watched them in relationships not be abusive or harmful, but approach relationships with sound and logic, like true logic, not this fake patriarchal logic that y'all are upside down in, but true logic with care, with kitten gloves, with a sense of awareness of the woman's needs. Like, I listen to them and how they deal with the relationships they're in, especially the straight ones. I'm listening to them when they come to me talking about situations with women and things like that. I'm listening. So because my standards are high standards are high, I'm not looking for a romantic relationship, but that doesn't mean I'm not in relationship friendships with men, straight men. Very few, but yes. And I do listen to them when they talk about their relationships and how they approach relationships and how they relate to women and how they're respectful and how they treat their mother and how they treat the women around them, how they treat their sisters, how they treat the women around them. When I tell you I'm not friends with men who are not allies to women. If you're not an ally to women, to all women, if you have some weird shit about, LGBTQ, you're not a friend of mine. Period. And that's it. And that's where that is a boundary of mine. That's where my standards are. That's where one of my standards are. And that's why I have quality people around me. So do I have violent men around me? No, I don't. But am I going to ignore the fact that every day I'm seeing a woman be killed by left up in some motherfucking mountains by a man? Left in the mountains, left on the side of the road, pulled out on the side of the road, harmed, in a hotel room. I'm not gonna, just because I don't have those type of men. I don't know none of those kind of men. But girl, I'm not gonna ignore the fact that they exist. That's stupid as hell. I don't know any violent men. Doesn't mean that they don't exist, poo poo. It doesn't mean that they don't exist. That doesn't even make sense to me when y'all say stuff like that. I don't know any. Just, all the men around me, just because you didn't have no good men around you, and then you make assumptions. Just because you didn't have no good men around you, what do? Take accountability for that. If there aren't any good men around you, don't be around ain't shit men. Take your shit and move around. I'm not spending time trying to change people. Don't nobody have time for that. Let them be who they are, and you change your circle. They're not going to change. You change. But the stereotypical tropes, y'all masculine, okay, and so what? So what? Though I would, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, no man can insult me. I don't care what you say. Nothing you say to me it makes me feel bad about myself. I don't look at myself through your eyes. So nothing you say to me about the way that I look, about the way that I present, about what I have going on, how I dress, I don't give a fuck. I don't. Because you didn't buy none of this shit. You ain't going to buy none of this shit. You can't afford to upkeep it, nothing. So you don't get to say shit. I don't give a fuck what you like. I don't care if I don't smile at your ass. You don't deserve to get smile. If you want to smile, it's $50. Period.
He's away from home. And yeah, part of the reason that I decided to be a single mom by choice, Carlos King, and use a donor and not have a father for Liberty, not use a friend, not have a co-parenting situation, is because I knew my circumstances professionally would put me in Candy's exact situation. And that I would very possibly end up paying child support for my own daughter. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Excuse me. I would easily be in a position to have to go in front of a judge looking just like this and plead my own case from my own daughter that I carried in birth to say, despite my travel schedule, my work schedule, my sometimes lack of real-time availability, I assure you I can make sure all of her needs are met. Because that opens the door, Carlos, for exactly this, where a father, despite the relationship between me and the father, despite what we even previously agreed to, could then say, Your Honor, look at her. She's outside. She might be outside for very wonderful, noble reasons, but she's away from home. And children need, mom to be home. Mom's not available to be home. And so she has put her custody rights at risk from a legal standpoint. And I'm here to step into the pocket. I'm here to step into the role and play the primary custodian for my children. And that's a real risk, Carlos. And it is one of the reasons I'm telling you that women with high power careers that demand travel or time away, my daughter is being very well taken care of right now, Raindrops and Carlos. I assure you, I'm getting hourly updates from her nanny, who's been with her since she was 4 months old. She's in a lovely, preschool that she's been, so she's good. But if I had to argue this to a judge, it could go either way, and I wasn't willing to risk it going either way. So,
Period. People do not like that I said Ebony is smart. She doesn't have to deal with anyone. That's her baby. And the crazy part is the only reason why they're acting like this is they're completely operating on survival. They just want women to have children to slap their last name on so they can live another generation. That's why they freak out when you remove the middleman and not have a relationship with the biological donor of the child, the sperm donor. There's no relationship there. I don't have to be arguing with anybody. I'm not going to court with anybody. I'm not nothing. You're not going to use the child to try to control me. Where I'm going to jump over all of those hurdles, whether they were going to show up or not. I will not take the risk in doing that. That is smart. There are so many women who wish that I would just have taken his sperm and because I wanted a child, I would have taken his sperm, but to have to deal with him, I don't even want to deal with him. I don't even want to talk to him. I don't want to have to deal with him. And how many men weaponize their children, women weaponizing their children. If you don't have a man around, you can't weaponize your child against anybody. Ain't nobody to blame, ain't nobody to say nothing to, and that man can't turn around and weaponize your children and be like, you don't need to have custody and blah, blah, blah. That is smart. That's smart. Somebody says, here, Ebony ain't talking to everybody. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But trust and believe there's validity attached to what she's saying. Y'all ladies with bread, be safe out here. She did right. She protected herself and still has the child she wanted. I'm not mad at it. She's playing chess, not checkers. She beat any man to the finish line by having a donor. Y'all have to realize she's on a different socioeconomic bracket. Trust, she's good. I'm not mad at Ebony. People are upset. Her child will be when Father's Day and daddy daughter dances come. No, girl, half of the time the daddy daughter dances are empty anyway, or half of the kids, because the truth is not everybody. I mean, the truth is men are not. There's no real consequences around not being present, not being active. There's nothing. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of people don't get to do the daddy daughter thing. The sons don't get to do the father son situations, especially for Ebony's demographic. Her daughter will stand out, and she didn't ask for it, girl. When it happened to Sherry, I definitely get what she was saying. I've heard more women being unable to move past a certain mileage from the father until the child is 18. What? Can't get a passport for their own child because the father who is absent refuses to sign. That lady is preaching. That's one of the reasons I waited till my sons were 16 to get their passports, because I didn't want to have to ask anybody, because I fucked around and put their father on the birth certificate. So if the father is on the birth certificate and you're not in communication with the father, or you don't know where he is, you can't locate him. There's some ways that you can get, there's affidavits, but if he's not present, and there's another form that he would have to sign and get it notarized. That means that you have to wait for him to get it notarized. Is he dependable enough to go get it notarized? Then that's like asking him for permission. I'm not asking anyone who does not participate in the upbringing and the rearing of the child to permission to do anything with my child. I'm not asking you to fill out an affidavit. I'm not asking you to go get shit notarized. I'm not asking you to do anything, because you don't raise this child. I raise these children. So I will wait. And that's just what it is. And as soon as they turn 16, they got their passports, and that's it. I don't have. It's fine. It's okay. We'll do local travel until they turn 16, and that's great anyways, because they'll be attached to an older memory rather than having the experience when they were young, trying to hold on to that memory. They'll have more recent memories as they age and appreciate these international trips even more. Perfect. Thank you. I'm not asking nobody for shit. If I didn't put him on the birth certificate, he wouldn't have a say in nothing. Nothing. I shouldn't. Girl, when I tell you, ooh, women have babies all the time for men they barely know, and the father is absent, and you're stuck raising the child alone anyway. And then you say you're stuck raising the child. This is if there's something wrong. If you wanted a child, you're not stuck raising a child. So are you just having children because your bodies are able to do it? Or do you want children? Because if you don't want them, then there are avenues that you can take. A fetus deletus. She just chose to remove the drama and have a baby using a donor. I don't judge her for that. I love Ebony, but choosing for your child not to have a father is out of line. And it's only men. It's only men. A lot. I mean, there's some women saying that, but it's a lot of men. And because they're operating in survival mode, and they're like, oh my God, there's a man who's not passing on his wonderful supreme DNA to somebody, girl. The truth is, the majority of y'all don't deserve offspring, and it's because of that goddamn love and romance era that brought in this idea that you should have access to men simply because I love you. Like I love you is some kind of currency. We're soulmates or whatever fucking shit y'all want to say. Anyways, I gotta go. So take care of each other. I can't believe it's already 11 o'clock. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.